Hello and welcome to InThisCornerTV.com. I'm Smitty. We're at Don Best Sports in Las Vegas, where today they held a press conference to announce that Mike Tyson may become the ambassador to the sport of boxing in China. After the press conference, we spoke to Mike and some of those involved. Sterling, how did this all come to be with Mike Tyson and China and attempting to get him to be the ambassador for the sport of boxing?
Well, I got a phone call from the Chinese government, TIS, in fact, this group, who actually took over the ring of boxing in China. So they had called me in regards to me bringing shows to China. And through that conversation, they had told me that they were going to have there was a special holiday that was coming up, which was going to be October the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And they wanted to do something during that period of time. So during that conversation, how is it possible that you could bring Mike Tyson? And I said, I could look into that and see if Tyson might be available to do. And we started to talk about bringing Tyson to China. And from that perspective, we got Tyson.
Mike, tell us about ambassador for boxing for China. How did this come to be?
Well, it's not actually be yet, but no, I'm not actually the ambassador yet. I don't know. We have to discuss more, me and Sterling. Guys. I don't know, because I don't really know. I'm joking, actually, but I'm truly serious. I was seriously joking. I don't really know what this is going to entail, me being an ambassador. Am I going to be responsible for bringing entertainment fights here? And if that's my job, we have to bring great fighters to China and have great fights.
Tell us about TIS and your business in China and what you're trying to do with Mike Tyson and professional boxing.
First of all, I want to say for thank you, having us here in Tianjin. It's one of the 4 largest city in China. And since China brought in F1 to Shanghai and also ATP, the China Open tennis game to Beijing, and Tianjin is trying to bring professional boxing to China. And
what is the status of it right now? Boxing over there, the popularity. Obviously, the amateur program is fine, but what about the fans over there? They craving professional boxing? Would you think?
Yeah, I'm sure that professional boxing is is something that the Chinese fans has been waiting for. And the only reason that the professional boxing hasn't taken off in China because that there are certain restrictions in China. Since we are a government sponsored or company, and we do have the access to really open the professional boxing to the central government and to let them know what is real professional boxing is all about.
And obviously, a great part of this plan would be television.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work without television.
And the plan for that would be to launch like a series from there.
That's exactly right. ESPN International, who has come to the plate, and we've been negotiating and trying to figure out the right route to take to do this. And so in doing so, we put this deal together with ESPN International. It's the greatest thing in the world because each fighter has to fight internationally. It's not picking some guy here in America who's going to fall down on the floor, and these guys are going to learn real quick with me that it's 50-50, babe. It ain't, it ain't 20-80 where they're going to win. It ain't going to work like that. The guys have to fight.
I don't know how popular Manny Pacquiao is with the Chinese people, but certainly he's captivated a nation. I mean, here's a guy who years ago was in the streets, selling anything he could, and now he can't even walk the streets. He's a congressman. I would think that would really fuel the fans, the Chinese fans, to, hey, we have great athletes. Why can't we have great professional fighters?
Correct. You're absolutely right about that. That's something that we were trying to create. We were trying to create this, professional, Chinese professional fighter to have somebody like Pacquiao, to captivate this, this entire nation, so we can bring him, in and out of China to be the real boxing ambassador for China.
What are the plans with this? How do you plan this to take place? What's your game plan?
Well, actually, for TIS, we plan to have to host boxing matches, each month for the next year, and the years to come. And that's something that we're planning to do. And it might be something that's not normal to the to the professional boxing industry, because that nobody can say that they can have boxing matches like regular, like every month. But since we are a government sponsored company, that we do have the resources to promote professional boxing there in China in such high intensity.
Well, I think they're making an excellent, at least, choice. It's going to be your decision, but their situation over there is kind of like, Cuba in a sense. They have a lot of great athletes, probably great fighters, but the professional boxing end of it, and nobody knows the sport any better than you do. And so I think, and also the broadcast side of it. I just did a fight with you recently, and you're a hell of a commentator, so I think it could be a great opportunity. What I want to talk about a little bit is life after boxing. The last time we had you on the show was right before the final fight of your career with McBride. We did that interview in Phoenix. And I want to how has life after boxing been for Mike Tyson?
Life is pretty interesting now at this moment. After boxing, I had I basically didn't know what I really wanted to do. I had opportunities, but now at this moment is awesome. Yeah.
The sport really misses you. Obviously, the heavyweight division misses you. One of the things we've been talking a lot about on the show are the problems, the concerns that I have with the sport of boxing. And I want to just bring up a few items to you and see what your thoughts are on it. First of all, you were a great amateur fighter. Probably should have won a gold medal. How Tillman ended up getting there, we saw what you did to him as a professional. But it seems to me like amateur boxing right now in the U.S., there's a lot of problems with it.
Well, I don't understand what's going on in amateur boxing, but I do know that it's not as it once was. I can remember within 2 weeks I would win probably 3 national titles, because I'm constantly fighting. I would leave Colorado Springs, I would go to Ohio State Fair, I would leave Ohio State Fair, and I would go to Rhode Island. I would constantly be on the road going to fights. It was like going to like an artist, a singer going on the road. We would go to different states and fight different fighters, the champion, but you stay active and you become a master of your trade.
And you build up a lot of camaraderie. I know Mickey Ward today told me to say hello to him and said he fought in the...
It'll be nice talking to him.
Yeah. And we have the biggest fight here in the world in Pacquiao and Mayweather. Both of those guys have been on in this corner. They're both pals of mine. What, in your opinion, is the problem? I mean, $50-60 million perhaps for both fighters. Why can't we make this fight?
I have no idea, but Floyd had been heard said on television, been printed that he believes Manny is using illegal drugs. Manny said he'll take the test, but I think we should see that fight. But if the fight doesn't happen, if he's uncomfortable with this gentleman's particular type of enhancement, we're not going to have a fight. I'm a guy that's a fight fan, that love fighters all to death. Imagine running around chasing fighters all your life with pins and pads like these guys do out here for me.
Right.
I was one of those guys, chasing guys all my life, and I become that guy.
Yeah.
Nobody had a life like this for me. No. Nobody, no fighter. Imagine being that guy chasing, being a fan, being a junkie fan, like a needle fan, with a fix to see a fight, see a fighter, and you become that guy that you've been chasing around all the time.
I remember this little segment that you said, Smitty, nobody's had a life like me in boxing. Nobody has had a life like me. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, the trials and tribulations. I would think that you've faced the greatest tribulation anybody can face a year or so ago with the loss of your daughter Exodus. And
hey, that stuff is bad and stuff, but I can't let the stuff like that imprison me. I can't let stuff like my daughter dying imprison me, my mother, all these things that happen to you in your life. No one has any exclusivity to pain. Everything, pain's irrelevant. But the reality is that we lose in life. We lose our parents, we lose our mothers, our girlfriend, we lose our teeth, we lose our hair. But it's the people who come back for those losses, that are the people that have the character and to continue to go on, because that's what life is, going on. They have to go on.
What are the future plans for Mike Tyson?
I don't know, I'm going to make movies, and we got a production company called Tyrannic, and we're going to do movies and write movies for shows like HBO.
Tyrannic?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we look forward to all of that, and hopefully the situation with you being ambassador to the sport of boxing in China comes to fruition. It's always great to have you on In This Corner.
It's always grateful being here. Thank you, Jimmy.